Camille, I wanted to ask you about this dual role you have as vocalist and instrumentalist. Do you find that the question is, how does both singing and playing, how do they help each other? How do they inform each other?
They help each other a lot. It's a language. When we go and teach children, we talk and introduce them to jazz. We say, look, jazz is a language. It's a way of life. It's a way of speaking. It's a way of living. It's a way of being. So when I hear Sarah Vaughan and when I hear Ella Fitzgerald, I hear the melody. I hear the lines. When I hear Coleman Hawkins, I hear Dexter Gordon, Gene Ammons, even George Coleman. I hear the lines. I hear the breath. I hear the phrasing. So I try to look at it as just music itself and not just, okay, vocal role, okay, singing role, because there's been so many people in history who've been just vocalists or vocalists and instrumentalists or just instrumentalists that have shared so much information with each other and made this music so beautiful, like Sarah Vaughan. She was a vocalist and a pianist. V. Red, she was a saxophonist and a vocalist. Louis Jordan, you know, so many other people that were Nat Cole, he's a perfect example. Even Freddie Cole, I just saw Freddie Cole a couple of weeks ago. You know, just great people who were just, the music was just flowing out of them, that it just became this beautiful thing, and it wasn't necessarily a vocal or instrumental thing, it's just a way of being. So I try to approach it that way. I mean, they do have things about them that are separate, like, you know, being a vocalist, the voice is part of your body. So you have to be extra careful in making sure that you're taking care of yourself because it will come out. Whereas blowing a horn, okay, if you have a cold, you can still play. If you have a cold, you cannot sing. It's just as simple as that. So, I mean, there are things about it, but, I mean, it's a beautiful thing that I try to think of as a continuous art form that's just one being.
Yeah. And right now,
go ahead,
I was going to add to that. Right now, Camille and I were talking about this. You know, we have to pay homage and we have to actually study the actual vocalist, you know, who just did that, you know, Dinah Washington and the Sarah Vaughns. And it's more than just, you know, singing the melodies and stuff like that. Like when you look at Diane Reeves, you know, you get like a whole persona. And so that's something that we're actually studying right now. You know, when you get on stage, how do you command your audience, and how do you communicate that feeling through your body? You know, because like Camille said, the instrument is your whole body as opposed to an external situation. So I just wanted to add that because we had that conversation.
Yeah. Well, one thing about songs and lyrics, Lester Young used to say that he learned the lyrics of a tune, and you know, and Dexter Gordon as well, and by doing this, it helped them to play better. Would you agree with that, Camille?
I would completely, totally, 100% agree with that. We just did a tour in Russia, and we had this song, If You Could See Me Now. We had some other songs that we did, and a lot of times when I'm learning music, I learn it on my horn first, or if I heard it a million times, I could pick it out of my horn. But sometimes I'll go back and learn the lyrics, and I found out that learning the lyrics and then really reading the story, and then on top of that, trying to listen to as many different versions as possible, instrumental and vocal, you get to see all these different interpretations that people had, and it helps you be able to internalize it, find your place in that story, and sing it. And one of the coolest things was going to Russia, being able to sing. Even though it was in English, I was able to really understand the story behind those lyrics and be able to communicate it to the people so that even if we didn't know the same language, we could feel it and take it to another level.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned playing in Russia. I have a friend, Hendrik Merkins, a harmonica player who does tours of Russia, and he tells me that of all the places in the world he plays, Russian audiences are the most emotional in terms of the music.
They're very passionate.
What was your experience in playing in Russia, and how many gigs did you do, and where did you go?
Well, I think Miriam, she played in Russia too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. We did a 10-city tour in Russia, playing in Abakan, Novosibirsk, Tomsk, Ekaterinburg. I'm probably missing a few series. It was hosted by Askat Saifulin, and the tour was with myself, Daryl Green, and Sasha Alexander. And it was incredible. Like, every night there was a standing ovation. People would just pour their hearts out, and even though we couldn't speak the same language, we would hug each other, and we would just like, they'd just be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, they really enjoyed it. And for some of them, you know, they've never seen an African American female playing an instrument and maybe singing, but they probably not playing an instrument. And a lot of times when we were doing interviews, that was always the question, like, man, like, does it take as much air? Is that like a common thing? Is that like something that is still done? And we kind of had to like show them with love, like, yes, this is still being done, it has been done, and it's going to be continuing to be happening. And, you know, we all have something to say, and we all have something to share, and whether or not we're a guy or a woman, it's still pertinent to today, and people need to be fed with that love and with that story and be able to be touched and leave that place changed after hearing you.